Hey, beautiful people. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Jara, and today I want to talk to you about why introverts are walking away from corporate America. Let's get into this topic. Introverts are leaving corporate America, and I'm like, I don't blame you. I chucked the deuces about a year, almost 2 years ago, and started my cleaning company. First, I took a sabbatical and I worked as a housekeeper in Alaska, of all places. So that led me to my cleaning company now, where I mainly focus on Airbnbs, post construction, and move in, move out cleanings. So enough about me, but let's talk about these introverts leaving corporate America. And like I said, I don't blame y'all at all because as introverts, we thrive in environments that allow autonomy. We enjoy working in environments that don't have interruptions. Those introverts that work in an office full time, especially if it's a call center type of environment where you have the phones ringing all the time, you have people amongst you talking, whether they're talking on the phone to customers or clients, or they're talking amongst themselves about little peanut gallery type conversations, gossip, office politics, politics in general, which you're not supposed to be talking about politics at work anyway, but some people still did that when I was, in corporate America, and just a whole lot of nonsense. And that whole overstimulation and all that talking and yapping and all that nonsense just gets our blood boiling after a while. Am I right? We just feel the need to either take a vacation, go on a sabbatical, or leave corporate America. And well, first I recommend, or I am an advocate of discovering what you're passionate about on the side, building that up, and then leaving corporate America. Now that's not the path that I took, but I just stepped out on faith and I made it work because baby, I was fed up, okay? Burnt out to the highest level of burnout activity, whatever you want to call it. So introverts are leaving corporate America because, like I just said, they're burnt out, they're overstimulated. And these work environments, I believe that they're truly set up to promote or advocate the extroverts. Okay. That's how I really feel. And that's the truth, honestly, if we're keeping it real, because many introverts feel like they need to perform in order to get promoted. They need to attend these corporate events, after work events, and just be, I guess, on all the time in order to be recognized, to be valued, and to be, like I said, promoted in the workplace. And that's not how introverts operate. We operate by, excuse me, my bad. We operate best where we're not overly stimulated, constantly stimulated in the workplace and getting interrupted and causing our ideas to not flow and our work to not flow like it should because of all this stuff that's going on around us and this pressure to perform and be seen by higher ups and leadership and all of that. And after a while, it just gets to be really draining. Now, with me, I stopped caring about the whole corporate ladder or climbing the corporate ladder when I was in my late 30s, I want to say. I'm 42 now, but when I was about 36, 37, 38, I just got this realization like, this ain't even worth it. All this, tap dancing. Now, I was not the one tap dancing, but I did at some point feel the need to, or I thought about just making myself more available after work to get to know people on a, I guess, more casual level outside of work in order to get promoted. So I used to work in higher education and I wanted to be a dean of students at one point in time, but I just realized it just wasn't worth it. Like all of the backstabbing that went on at this certain institution. And yeah, anyway, I don't want to get into all of that. But I'm just saying all this to say that corporate America just requires a whole different version of ourselves as introverts that we just feel like it's so draining and so unnecessary to keep up with when we should really be rewarded again for our outputs, for our efforts, and our successes. Now, I did really good when I worked in higher education and I worked in sales. And, I was told by a supervisor that I should consider playing the game in order to get promoted. Yes, she literally said that to me. on a Zoom call. It was a private Zoom call between the two of us. She said that I had a lot of great potential. I was well liked. I knew how to meet my metrics and things like that. But, she said you could have a hard time getting a promotion one day because you need to play the game. And when she said that, it's just like, I don't know. It was so crazy to hear her say that to me because you just said that I did good at my job, but because I wasn't a puppet to these higher ups, now I'm not going to be considered for a promotion, which I didn't want anyway. I just wanted to come home. I'm sorry, go to work, do my job, and go home anyway. But I guess she just assumed that because I was good at what I did, that I wanted to be promoted one day. But I can just imagine how many introverts feel that pressure if they care about climbing the corporate ladder. They feeling that pressure to perform and be a version of themselves that is not true to them. So I understand y'all wanting to leave corporate America because of that, because it just turned into this whole thing like it's an adult version of high school. And I didn't like high school when I was in high school. I wanted those 4 years to hurry up and fly by. Okay. I'm like, I'm too mature for this. I'm ready to get out of this catty type of environment. And plus, I was not being challenged by the curriculum that I had at that public school that I went to. But that's another story. Well, there were a handful of teachers that were really good, that really challenged us. But yeah, that's another story for another day. But yeah, like I said, introverts are leaving corporate America mainly because of the office politics, the gossip, the drama, the cliques, the negativity, the feeling of having to put on this mask day in and day out to pretend to be somebody that we're not, just to keep our jobs and or to get a promotion one day. And it just gets to be extremely draining, tiring, and completely, I can understand that you're completely fed up and wanting to leave corporate America because of that. If this is you, you will love my channel. This is a channel for introverts by an introvert, okay? Dedicated to introverts that are making a shift in their lives. If you're an introvert that's rebuilding your life on your own terms and you're doing it unapologetically, then this channel is for you. I got some great topics coming up, so stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. Like this video if I said anything that you resonate with. Leave a comment down below. I love to read your comments and I respond back. So yeah, do all those things. And if you're watching this video on your smartphone, make sure that you hype this video as well because it does help to reach the people that it needs to reach. So with that said, I want you to watch this clip that I found on TikTok that's gonna drive home the point I was, hopefully I made in this video. So let me know what you think about that. And like I said, if you're not subscribed, please do so. I'm now dropping videos every Sunday instead of every Wednesday because of my schedule. We are fully now into the summer or spring traveling season, and these Airbnbs are picking up. So, baby, I am busy now. So, it has changed from Wednesday uploads to now Sunday uploads. So, just make sure that you're on the lookout for that. And again, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.
If you are an introvert, stay away from office jobs.
If you're a quiet introvert at an office job, people are not going to like it because the office life is so heavily rooted in water cooler talk and banter and mingling. And if you don't do any of those things, you make people uncomfortable, which is fucking annoying. Because for many people like me, we just want to stay in the zone and get our work done and then go home and have our fun there. Like, doing a great job and also engaging in regular banter is not easy for a lot of us.
Things that quiet people do that get misunderstood at work. We listen before we speak. That's called being strategic. It's not passive. We skip small talk and we go straight to work. That's not rude. That's efficiency. We don't fight to talk over people in meetings. That's called respect, not a lack of ideas. We leave at the close of business. That's called boundaries and not a lack of commitment. We observe before we act. That's called competence and not hesitation. Quiet workers are not the problem. Workplaces that only value performances are.